tweet. Yeah.
if they just said, if they didn't listen to the mayor and just said fuck y'all and played Kyrie.
If they
Are
broke
you
the law.
are you out your fucking minds? So the solution is not the one guy, the one holdout that science and everything else doesn't support what he's saying. Even the concept that he would take a vegan vaccine when there's no meat, there's no animal products in the vaccine. And it's like this crazy like thing like, yeah, Nash could have went and played Cam Thomas. Have you watched Cam Thomas in the last few games? Are you still judging Cam Thomas by what he did in Summer League? Because he hasn't been good. And he wasn't going to bring us back down by 20. And even if we played him earlier, you're not getting much better than Bruce Brown. And the only thing that you could potentially end up doing is hurting the confidence of these kids who aren't ready.
The other thing, by the way, that's totally disingenuous, I thought, about, like there was a whole crowd of Nets fans yesterday that aren't a fan of Nash that were doing victory laps because the rookies came back yesterday. And, like, let's be honest, like, all of us have played in games.
Came back against who?
Right,
who were they playing against?
Well, first of all, this is the thing I wanted to say. All of us have played in pickup games where you're playing a 21 and you're up 19-4, and suddenly it's 19-16 because you take your foot off the gas because you were blowing teams out. Like this notion that David Duke Jr. and
gotta have the junior.
Exactly. And Cam Thomas and Day'Ron Sharp led this improbable comeback against the Grizzlies, who were like the 4 seed in the West, and they went toe to toe. And had they been playing them the whole time, they would have won the game. It's like come on, guys. Like everyone has played in that pickup game where you take your foot off the gas. Like this, like it was a really nice comeback. You could see that they were playing with more energy, but like this notion that Cam Thomas and Day'Ron Sharp are the cure all for the Nets is lunacy.
I guarantee you he's gonna do it because, Nash experiments. He experiments. That's like he plays with lineups. He tries different things. He tries to match up. The Nets aren't supposed to be a team that tries to match up. They're supposed to be, who they roll out their starting 5, and they just crush everybody. The reason why they're not that has nothing to do with Steve Nash. And matter of fact, it is a testament of how good Steve Nash has been that there hasn't been any beef in the locker room. People haven't gotten down. Somehow we're still second in the league. Are we still second in the league? I don't know with this 3 game skid. I'll check. But for most of this season, we've been first in the league. And how you don't give Steve Nash that credit? Yeah, we're still second in the league. How you don't give Steve Nash that credit is bizarre to me. And it just goes to show a lot of fans are fans of the players and they're not fans of the team because the only person that got hurt, like sometimes people tell this story like it's Kyrie Irving that got hurt. No, Kyrie Irving didn't get that hurt. He didn't get that hurt. He's coming back now. He's going to play. They're probably paying him his money too. They're not making. They have no cards. The players have all the power, and now especially that they've given in on this thing, which they should have, which was the right thing to do. But at the same time, where would we be without this particular type of coach? Let's. I'm sorry, I keep coming back to this. You want to steer the car? Am I missing something before I move on to the next thing I wanted to cover?
No, the only thing that I wanted to just say, which it actually doesn't have to do with Nash, I rarely go on any type of like real criticism of a player or and really just like delve into somebody like I'm a New York sports radio host, but like this whole Bruce Brown thing at this point to me is so far, not to use like a Drake line, but it is so far gone at this point. Like this, like everything about him when he's on the floor. Like I had decent seats yesterday, so I could really follow like a lot of the different guys, especially who I wanted to follow. Mm-hmm. Like he is both he is both not like a good. He obviously can't shoot. He can't pass. He can't dribble.
He can't make a consistent layup either.
He can't make a consistent layup. He's a total wimp when he goes for floaters as opposed to getting any type of contact because he's either soft or he doesn't want to go to the free throw line and he doesn't trust himself.
Right.
And
no, that's his go-to move. We don't have to kill him for that. It's his go-to move. It's his thing that he does. He feels like he does it on an elite level. But it's a bad basketball play when you don't draw contact.
But what he does, which I actually dislike the most, and I've been saying this since me and you since me and you have been podcasting together, is beyond the fact that he's clear that he's the guy who wants to be in the Sports Illustrated commemorative video of like jumping up and down and stuff like that. He showboats and he does theatrics.
He's our J.R. Smith.
Yeah, he does like George Costanza and Seinfeld had a thing where if you look like you're really frustrated at work, then people think that you're more busy than you are, and Bruce
Larry
Brown
David's
almost
a genius.
does that in the sense that he complains more than anyone when he gets called for fouls. He like runs down the court out of shock, and people think that it's him almost being like more into the game and being this high energy guy and really, really playing with intensity when like a lot of times he just makes bad fouls. And I almost feel like he's the guy in like a high school basketball game who you feel like is being theatrical to like show to the girls that he's really into the game and he's like a part of the squad and stuff like that. When he's just like, his whole act and everything about him, I'm totally sick of. There's not one thing that he does better than DeAndre Bembry. There's very few things at this point that I think he does better than like a Kessler Edwards even would do, to be honest, or a David Duke Jr.
Right.
I just don't see the point of him. I think if he has any trade value, he's the obvious guy, and there's no way I would. I mean, look, I didn't trust him in the Bucks series at all, and there's no way I would want to play him in a big time playoff series.
Yeah, he's got a little of that irrational confidence. He's playing hard, but he doesn't have the physical tools to make that game work. I see why he's a net. I like to call him Travion Gramian. Travion Gramian players are what Sean Marks likes to sign.
That's his Achilles heel, right?
That's his Achilles heel. He can't help himself. He was like, he just wants to prove a 6'4" power forward can work. And he paid Brown too, right? He paid Bruce, right? He gave Bruce a contract.
Qualifying though, it was only like $4 or $5 million.
He gave Bruce Brown $4 million. God damn, he gave Bruce Brown $4 million. Look. It is shocking to me that people get mad and the obvious answers for what is wrong is right in front of you. You want to make it about all kinds. You want to make it about players that don't even play. Bruce Brown is like a toxin in your vein. It's killing you slowly. Dude, last night, that dude had a lot of minutes because they Nash left him in with the wave the white flag team.
Yep.
And but he still played 23 minutes. He got 10 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. I don't feel any of those I don't feel any of those statistics.
Nope.
He's just so bad. You would read that and be like, yep, that's what he's supposed to do. Thank God. Great. He even shot 100% last night from the field. Right? But he still fucking sucked. Our perimeter defense is so horrible. Horrible. Look at how people are shooting from 3. You saw Maxey the other day. Can we stop anybody at the 3-point line? We used to have some of the best perimeter defense. I guess that was Joe Harris's work. I don't know. Golly. All right, Bruce Brown. I get it. You're one of You're the one that's gonna prove Sean Marks right about 6'4" power forwards. But it's not. It's never gonna be right. Sean Marks got to let that go. And again, when you say things like, why did Nash ride Harden and KD like that so long? How ridiculous of a
Yeah, that's. I mean, I can tell you, I was at the game. It was over.
Who else are you going to? Who I don't know. I don't know. We're in a weird place with Nets fandom because the reasons why we lost these last 3 games, the reasons why we're on number 1, these guys were partying their asses off in the biggest city in the world. 2, and on the road too, by the way. 2, there's no help on the bench, right? Like, you could say you need to take Patty out, but Patty was meant to be a dependable 6-man. Yep. He was supposed to make sure that the floor spacing keeps on ticking. We were not designed to be without Kyrie and to be without Joe Harris. It is so clear. You know, that's the reason why you can't really get mad at the Sean Marks mistakes, because we didn't plan to be this. We planned to be something else. I have to admit that. But at the same time, some of these choices have been horrible. It angers me every time I see Saddiq Bey prosper.
Yeah, he had a great game recently.
34 last night, dude.
Yep.
Like, the guy's a stud. And scoring is not what he's good at. He's a hell of a defender. He would be the perfect guy right now. Like, if imagine you just replace Bruce Brown with Saddiq Bey.
Yep.
God. How different of a team are we? Right.
He adds a total. I mean, he would add a totally different dimension to them. He would basically be like the 1 or 2 year more seasoned Kessler Edwards, right? Like, that's basically what we need.
That's the thing. It's like, when I see Kessler Edwards play, I don't see what I've seen from Saddiq Bey since last year. And that's the thing. It's no knock to Kessler. He may get better. He may become really good. He's shooting 41% from 3. He has an NBA body. I have said, and I continue to believe, he has the highest potential of all the players on the Nets. He could just literally work hard, develop a jumper, and because he has that NBA body, he's going to have a career in the NBA for sure, very likely. However, you can't put it on him to save the Nets on these games. He's not on the level of a Saddiq Bey, of a Tyrese Halliburton, of some of these players that were at the lower end of the draft, but are doing bits in the NBA. And these guys jump off the page. Kessler Edwards has only jumped off in y'all imagination. I think he could be good. I think he's better than what we have. But before an NBA head coach can make that switch, you gotta know that what you got doesn't work. So, Nick Claxton, is he back? Is it real?
Look, he to me is back to his peak form of what he is, which is a really good switch defender. He's great at altering shots. He's getting more skilled offensively, like using on those like kind of lefty bunnies that he hits.
Yep.
The issue with him is like, look, I'm at the game yesterday with my friend who's a partial season ticket holder, and he says to me at one point, he's like, Latchow, he's like, Steven Adams looks like a different species in size from Claxton. And I was like, yeah. I was like, Claxton is, Basketball Reference lists Claxton at 6'11", 215. Like, that is insanely light. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, that is freaking crazy. And
I'm 6'4", and the last time I was 215, I was 19 years old. And if I went back down to that weight, I would look mad.
like he's like he